Gather round now, boys and girls. Story time, as promised. Long ago, in a time when the seas were both a source of life and a place of great mystery, there lived a group of fishermen in a small village by the coast. The village was a peaceful place, surrounded by rolling hills and vast open waters. The villagers lived simple lives, relying on the sea's bounty for their food and livelihood. Among the fishermen were 6 hardy men, known across the village for their skill and bravery. Their names were Aldrich, Bernard, Cedric, Edric, Fendrel, and Grimwald. These men had fished the waters near the village for years, and no catch was too great or too challenging for them to pursue. One morning, as the sun rose high in the sky and the sea shimmered with 1,000 reflections, the fishermen decided to venture eastward, towards waters less traveled. It was said that the fish were more plentiful there, though few dared to venture too far into the deeps. The weather was perfect, the sea calm, and the men were eager for a bountiful catch. Their small wooden boat glided smoothly over the gentle waves, the men chatting and laughing as they cast their nets. The sun warmed their backs, and the salty breeze filled their lungs. By midday, their nets were heavy with fish, more than they had caught in a long time. Satisfied with their haul, they decided it was time to return home. But as they began to pull up their nets and ready their oars, something strange happened. Without warning, Aldrich, the eldest of the group, let out a startled shout. The other men turned just in time to see a long, slimy tongue shoot out from the depths of the water, wrapping around Aldrich's ankle. The tongue was unlike anything they had ever seen, slick and dark, with a grip as strong as iron. Before they could react, the tongue yanked Aldrich off his feet and pulled him overboard, disappearing beneath the waves with terrifying speed. The remaining 5 men stood frozen in shock, their eyes wide with fear. The sea, which had been so calm just moments before, now seemed like a vast, unknown world, hiding dangers they could not see. Bernard, the next eldest, grabbed a spear and peered into the water, but there was no sign of Aldrich. Only the rippling surface of the sea. Where they could process what had happened, another tongue lashed out from the deep, wrapping around Bernard's waist. He struggled and tried to stab at the tongue with his spear, but the creature was too strong. With a mighty pull, it dragged Bernard into the water, leaving nothing behind but a splash. Panic spread among the remaining 4 fishermen. Cedric, the most agile of the group, grabbed the oars and began rowing furiously, his heart pounding in his chest. Edric and Fendrel joined in, their hands moving with desperate speed. Grimwald, the youngest and least experienced, stood at the back of the boat, his eyes darting from side to side, searching for any sign of the creature. But the sea was quiet once more, as if nothing had happened. With only 3 men left, the fear was palpable. They knew they had to get back to shore before the creature took them all. Edric and Fendrel rowed with all their might, their muscles burning with the effort, while Grimwald tried to keep watch. But the sea was vast, and the creature could strike from anywhere. It wasn't long before Fendrel felt a slimy grip around his waist. He barely had time to react before he too was pulled overboard. disappearing beneath the surface without a trace. Now only two men remained, Edric and Grimwald. Their faces were pale, their eyes wide with terror as they rowed for their lives. The boat moved faster than it ever had, propelled by their desperation. The sea seemed endless, the shore a distant memory. The sun, which had been so warm and bright, now felt oppressive, casting long shadows over the water. The men's breaths came in ragged gasps as they pushed themselves to the limit, the thought of the creature's tongue driving them forward. Finally, as the sun began to dip towards the horizon, they saw the faint outline of the shore. Summoning the last of their strength, Edric and Grimwald rowed with everything they had, their hearts pounding in their chests. The sea, as if sensing their escape, remained calm and silent. When they finally reached the shore, the two men collapsed onto the sand, gasping for breath. The boat, now empty of all but fish and fear, bobbed gently in the shallow water. They had survived, but the horror of what had happened would haunt them for the rest of their lives. The village was quiet when they returned, the sun setting behind the hills, casting a golden glow over the sea. Edric and Grimwald spoke little of what had happened, but the fear in their eyes told the villagers all they needed to know. The waters to the east were cursed, they said, and no one should ever venture there again. From that day on, the fishermen of the village stayed close to home, their eyes always on the horizon, wary of deep waters to the east. The tale of the creature and its long, grasping tongues became a legend, whispered among the villagers as a warning of the dangers that lay beyond the calm surface of the sea. And though the sun still shone and the sea still sparkled, the men knew that beneath the waves, in the shadowy depths, something ancient and hungry waited, its long tongue ready to hunt anyone down. Now hurry off to bed, children. It's quite late already. Go on now.